Were
undertones.
you like in school during the Scholastic Book Fair
Yeah.
craze?
Mhm.
Did you get into Goosebumps or Animorphs?
No, I remember Goosebumps was like a big seller, or not seller, but like they had limited copies at the grade school library in elementary school. And so those went out quick and it was always the same few kids. The books I liked were yeah, like it's called, I think the brand was like Eyewitness, and they were these big books that would show like cut throughs of ships and airplanes,
Yeah,
and then other ones would show like weapons through the ages or guns through the ages or like ancient like metallurgy and things like that. I was always
those were
trying to
great.
secure those. Yeah, and then like the
They're
the dullards,
like coffee table books. Like
they
like
were
the
looking at
whole
Where's
front
Waldo.
is like I don't know, like a crossbow and a cataphract and a
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
like stuff like that on the cover. I got really into Goosebumps and a little bit into Animorphs in school. I was just watching a YouTube video about the fall of Goosebumps because R.L. Stine was the writer, if you remember correctly,
Hmm.
and it took off and became this. It was the publisher is it Umbrella or something like that? It's the same publisher as Harry Potter. But
Mhm.
anyway, whenever the Goosebumps books were so big, it was most of their worth as a company. Like most of their stock price was tied up in Goosebumps, and R.L. Stine was supposedly writing 2 books a month, 2 books a month for years. He was putting out like 27 or yeah, like 27 books a year or something crazy like that was his contract. And they accused him of using a ghostwriter, which nulled their contract and made him fall back to a prior contract that cut him out of all the like
Oh,
ancillary money, like from the TV show and the merchandise. And I didn't remember it, but it was like Taco Bell did it and Pepsi did tie-ins, Doritos did tie-ins where there'd be like little Goosebumps books in the bags of chips. They
Mhm.
had like a theme park. They did movies, and there was a TV show that did like 4 or 5 seasons that I remember watching when I was a kid. And by the time they settled all their lawsuits, Harry Potter had happened. And it was like that Toy Story meme. It's like, I don't want to play with you anymore. Nobody wanted Goosebumps anymore.
Who won the lawsuits, do you know?
They split
Mm.
I think that Fox won one of their lawsuits against R.L. Stine because, they were showing a F Fox had bought it, but they were showing it on Fox Kids, and he was saying that that's a different network, and so he needed to be double paid, and then
Mm.
R.L. Stine was, arguing that, he should be paid for those things, but they proved, I think, that he broke his contract by employing ghostwriters, even if they were just doing outlines for him, which is bullshit. I don't care even if it is, like, simple 8 to 12 horror books, like, you can't write a book every 2 weeks
mhm.
without failing at some point, like, for years on end. Like, he just
Mhm.
kept cranking them out, and, I think only
Oh,
the first 16 books he wrote or something like that, but I read all those when I was in not all of those, I read dozens of those when I was in elementary school. Whenever we did the Scholastic Book Fair, I was super into that. Like, I loved, like they had great covers, like, the covers of Goosebumps books were always really inventive and scary,
mhm.
especially to, like, an 8-year-old.
I can still picture the one of that like ghoulish, almost like a Grinch hand, except it was like a sinister leaf monster grabbing onto the door leading down to a basement.
There's a
I can
puppet that
remember
came
that.
back to life, like a ventriloquist dummy.
Yeah, I never read a single Goosebumps.
The one that got really, the popular TV episode is the girl who she doesn't want she's getting old enough that she wants an actual scary Halloween costume, she doesn't want some cutesy shit, and so she goes to the Halloween store and they're like, "Well, no, you can't have that mask. That one's not for sale." And she steals it, I think, and puts it on, and it won't come off. Like, it's like a monster mask, it's alive itself, and it glues to her face, and she's slowly becoming the monster. As an
Ooh.
8-year-old, that was terrifying.
Did you
Mm.
ever read the Boxcar Children?
Of course. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. I
Those were
what
horrible. Whoever
what
wrote that was phoning it in completely. There
what I
was never
remember about
anything
that
at stake.
I just
It was
remember
like you had to solve a crime or like a guy would have to pay a nominal fine.
well, they were, like, homeless and lived in an actual boxcar and a train, and I remember from it that they kept their milk cool by putting the jug in the creek, And I remember thinking, like, there's no way that works.
Yes.
Like, how cold is that water? There's no. We're gonna dig that jug out tonight, and I'll have
Yeah.
some bread and milk. Like, we've
Why
got to
is-
find some sort of social services, guys.
Yeah,
That
why
could
is
be our
no
next
one-
mystery? Where'd mom go?
Yeah, the Boxcar children and the mystery of the CPS agent who doesn't show up, and like they're
Yeah.
like showing up like wearing like hobo shoes with like the toes open, like flaps, and no one is like at school being
got
like, we
ropes for
really need to
belts.
look in on the Smith kids. This is something's not going right at home. No, they don't
Yeah,
have a home. They live in a boxcar. What, they live in a fucking boxcar?
The Animorphs, I only read like 2 or 3 of those, but since then I've watched videos about just how dark that book series was. It's it's rough stuff. There's an intergalactic alien war, and these Earthling kids have been given the ability to transform into animals. But if they stay in the form of the animal too long, they get stuck in it. And so occasionally a character will just get stuck in the body of a hawk, and they're like, "Yeah, that's Dave now." He forever has to live with his mind merged with that of a hawk, and he is disgusted every time he eats a rat, but he can't control himself. Like, people go insane. Some of the characters get smushed as like animals, and
Like
they're
a
all
bug. Yeah.
yeah, they get destroyed.
And a lot of the
it-
animals aren't useful.
Well, oh, that's the other thing. I think they're fighting against aliens who have like a bigger catalog of animals to draw from because they're from alien worlds. And so they'll show up as like a Tyrannosaurus Rex with like fucking breathes fire and shits thunder or something. And the best we've got is a bear or a tiger or something sneaky like a fly or something.
Yeah, or something totally useless like a guinea pig. Like there was no utility in some of them. I remember, and I never read it. I just remember seeing the absurd covers
cover art.
it had.
Cover
where
art's great.
It's psychotic, the cover art of Animorphs, because
Zach,
the
try to
person
find
doesn't
some of
even
those Animorph
try.
covers because they're hilarious. It's people literally morphing. There's one where a black girl's turning into a starfish.
Mhm.
Yeah,
No,
see
those are really dark books, though.
See if you can find this kid turning into a roach. How is that useful? How is that helpful?
Well, they're
You
definitely being
see-
sneaky. They're like dealing with like an intergalactic alien empire that's always trying to like do some evil, and so there's a lot of sneaking around. I think and getting evidence and information. Look at it turning into the lizard.
You got lazy on this one. There's not even a lizard body.
Yeah, it's turning into the head. The black girl turning into starfish is my favorite, though. Oh, she wasn't black. Okay, I was wrong.
I don't think I've ever seen a more useless one than a starfish.
Yeah, like maybe she was like staking out an aquarium or something, trying to get some info.
Do
I don't know why
starfish
you
have brains?
I don't think so.
I feel like she could convert to a starfish and then does not have the ability to go back. 'cause she's-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you know, a gerbil might have a shot at it, but not a
A
starfish.
fly. Oh, rough. Dolphin's not bad. Whatever that centaur at the bottom is isn't bad. Gorilla's
Oh
not
yeah,
bad.
he's turning into a whole weird like alien critter.
Yeah, these are, man, kids would read anything, I guess.
This is why Harry Potter took off so well. It's so much.
It's so much better than this.
Harry
shit.
Potter came out. I was like, oh my god, this is fucking great. I still like Harry Potter. I've got friends that are like more well read than me, and I'll mention it occasionally. Like, you ever read Harry Potter? And I think that's a little below me. I was like, fuck you, man. Come on.
What books are they talking about when you're like, I've actually got a recommendation. I'm not sure if you've heard of it. It's a
Like,
little
get outta here.
esoteric. It can be intimidating.
I love Harry Potter. Watching him go on his little journey and everything. That's a great story. There's some plot holes and there's some weirdness, but I like it a lot. I like that the Asian girl's name is Cho Chang.
Hmm. Yeah. I mean, what's wrong with that?
What's
Not at
special
all.
about Cho Chang? Just that it's an Asian sounding name.
I mean, it's the most Chinese. They might as well named her Ching Chong or something. You know, she's the only Chinese character, and her name's Cho Chang. There's lots of racism in there. She's definitely a little anti-Semitic with that depiction of the goblins. There's something going on there.
And that
Pretty sure there's a
scene-
Star of David on the floor of that place.
So the reason there's a Star of David on the floor is because they filmed that scene in an actual bank. I'm
Oh,
serious.
how do you think? How should we feel about that?
I mean, that is so funny being a banker and being like, I've got an idea for decor, and they're like, oh, a little on the nose. Let's, maybe a regular star, huh? Maybe a different star. Yeah.
Yeah, should it have been like a magical star, like an 8-pointed star or something like that, or a 6-pointed star, or
Oh,
even a
Or a
pentagram?
pentagram. Well, no, pentagram denotes evil, and they wouldn't. I don't think they were known as like an evil goblin bank that like supported the Dementors or whatever.
They literally were.
Oh,
They turned Harry over to Bellatrix Lestrange and ratted them out. They were working with the dark forces there at the end, it seemed, or at least some of them
rats.
were.